Alright, also look, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, I'm gonna be breaking down and giving my critical retrospective on UFC 309's main card. So, without further ado, let's get right in to the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 1,500 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, for the curtain jerker of the main card, we had Mauricio Murphy delivering an impressive victory over James Lantop. Mauricio Murphy put on a dazzling display of skill, almost essentially conducting his own striking masterclass during the first two rounds, and it was very apparent that his confidence as well as his fluidity on the feet almost allowed him to land a variety of strikes, seemingly at will, as he dominated the pace and controlled the fight. Ruffy's accuracy as well as his precision were on point during the fight, hardly missing any of his shots, with Joe Rogan and Daniel DC Cormier on multiple occasions comparing him to the notorious Conor McGregor. And you know, credit must be given to James Lantop though, because he kind of proved that he's got one of the best chins in the UFC currently, enduring an onslaught that nearly finished him on multiple occasions. He somehow made it to the second round despite barely making it past the first, and you know, by the third round, Ruffy did begin to slow down a little bit, creating an opportunity for Lantop to ramp up the pressure and further pushing forward with increased volume and connecting with some well-timed shots and showing a lot of heart. However, despite his valiant efforts, it just wasn't enough to sway the decision, and Ruffy emerged victorious in what was a phenomenal performance. And afterward, he called out Benoit Saint-Denis. And you know, honestly, I don't know if it's really a smart decision to throw him into the lion's den of the top 15 just quite yet. Instead, I think he needs one more big test before he gets a ranked opponent, and I'm kind of thinking they should feed him Bobby Green. I think it would be a really fun striking matchup for Ruffy, and it would definitely make for some very exciting stand-up exchanges. Overall, great win from Mauricio Ruffy, and I'm not gonna lie, these fighting nerd motherfuckers low-key might be the future. Moving up on the card, we've got Bo, the Average Joe, Nickel, or recently dubbed Bo, the Overhand Merchant Nickel, who beat Paul Craig by unanimous decision. This fight marked a curious shift in Bo Nickel's approach, as he chose to avoid his usual wrestling heavy strategy to instead test his striking ability, which, you know, in retrospect was a very strategic move on Bo Nickel's part, taking into consideration Paul Craig's dangerous ground game. But it also led to an unexpected performance that a lot of the fans in the crowd just weren't feeling whatsoever. Bo's striking relied primarily on setting up the overhand left, a technique that worked well but also highlighted his limited striking arsenal. And you know, while Bo did find success on the overhand left against a defensively inferior opponent in Paul Craig, it also exposed areas where he needs to significantly improve. Nonetheless, Bo's decision to strike rather than wrestle was noteworthy, even though it did draw out some mixed reactions from the fans in the MSG Stadium. But you know, we also have to take into account that at this stage of his career, with only 6 professional MMA fights under his belt, Bo, the Average Joe, still got a lot to learn. That being said though, please stop calling out and chirping at Khamzat Chimaev, because with a performance like that on the feet against an opponent like Paul Craig, there is no way on God's green earth that you expect yourself to hang in there in the striking department with the Boers, let alone the ground game. Stop it. But as Bo progresses, most of his future fights will likely see him return to his grappling roots. Still, refining his stand-up game remains essentially crucial if he wants to contend with these elite middleweight wolves, especially Khamzat Boris Chimaev. Now for the co-main event of the evening. And I know, considering who I was picking going into this fight, I'm gonna look fake as hell during this segment, but welcome back, Charles do Bronx. Charles Oliveira is now back in the win column with a 5th round decision over Iron Michael Chandler. Charles approached this fight with a calculated as well as determined game plan, mixing in takedowns and controlling Michael Chandler on the mat, something that we do not often see him do as he typically relies on the stand-up exchanges to set up his takedowns. And I honestly think that this tactical shift sort of underscored Charles Oliveira's versatility as well as his determination in order to avoid a loss that would most likely derail his hopes of reclaiming that title indefinitely. And as for my pick to win this fight, Michael Chandler. And to my surprise, Michael Chandler learned absolutely nothing during the past 2.5 years that he's been out. And, he just resorted back to his old self, just bombing away on the feet with these explosive winging shots that got him chin checked the first time around. And coming into this fight, I thought, okay, cool. Michael Chandler has been out for way too long, but in the meantime, he's been putting in the work, and he's going to take this opportunity to right his wrongs and fill in all the blanks he didn't fill in the first time around. And come this fight, he will come in with a newly found conviction in order to be ready to win instead of being ready to kill. And from the looks of it, I was sadly mistaken. Now look, don't get it twisted. I still love Iron Michael Chandler for everything he stands for, with the hard work, dedication, and perseverance shit. But holy fuck, I now understand why Dustin the Diamond hates this cat so much. Multiple eye pokes, multiple cage grabs, and 40 counted strikes to the back of the head of Charles do Bronx. How the absolute fuck did he get away with all of these? Dog, Keith Peterson may need his reffing license checked over because holy hell, Charles do Bronx could have gotten severely injured in the cage last night and it would have all been on his head. Like, what the fuck? And look, I know I chat on Mark Goddard a lot, but we freaking needed him in the cage last night. But when the world needed him most, he vanished, I guess. And Chandler came super close to securing a finish in the 5th round as well, hurting Oliveira bad with some powerful shots, but Charles do Bronx showed his resilience, reversed position, and pulled guard. And ever the showman he is, Iron Michael Chandler gets up, stumbles his way to the middle of the octagon, and reminiscent of their first bout, freaking full throttle body slams Charles Oliveira, Charles do Bronx on the canvas, and then was like, I had to double it.
I had to double it.
And does it for a second freaking time. Oh my god. It was absolute fan service, and it almost made me forget how much of a scumbag cheater he was. Almost. Overall, absolutely phenomenal win from Charles Oliveira, Charles do Bronx. Truly. He went out there to make a statement, and he 100% did. And, it kind of seems like we won't be seeing him in the octagon for a little bit because his next fight is 100% going to be the winner of Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev. And I'm low-key kind of hoping for Arman to come out on top with the dub because looking back at their initial bout, 2 more rounds and we maybe would have seen a different outcome. And now for the main event of the evening. And did we really expect anything different? Johnny Turinabol finished Stipe Fireman Miocic in the 3rd round by a spinning kick to the liver. And man, Stipe Miocic just looked like he didn't want to be there whatsoever. Round 1, Johnny Turinabol took him down and absolutely massacred him on the ground with a rain of elbows, freaking 10-8ing him. And come rounds 2 and the beginning of 3, though he was moving at a 42-year-old heavyweight speed, Stipe Fireman Miocic landed some really decent shots with the uppercut and the counter 1-2, but you could tell that he was realistically just delaying the inevitable. Jones's attacks to the body definitely accumulated during the fight, and it visibly took a toll, with Johnny Turinabol finishing it off with the spinning back kick to the liver, shutting Stipe down. And what can I say? Jones looked fresh in there. He was fast, technical, accurate, just typical Johnny Turinabol. And I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, because Johnny did say that he didn't have any plans on retiring, so there is literally only one possible fight left. Fight Tom Aspinall. But first off, y'all know what's crazy? I'm already seeing people on Twitter talk about how, oh, if he just did that to Stipe, imagine what he would have done to Tom Aspinall. And I'm sitting here like, dog, are you serious right now? This fight proves absolutely nothing when it comes to the Tom Aspinall matchup. All this means is that Johnny Turinabol looked sharp against a 42-year-old Stipe Miocic who is not only coming off of a loss and, being away from the sport for almost 4 years after getting brutally flatlined, stiffened, and folded into a lawn chair by Francis Ngannou, who is no longer even in the company anymore. Johnny Turinabol, please do us a huge favor and quit ducking Tom Aspinall and book this fight ASAP for your legacy. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think of UFC 309, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic? And, let me know in the comment section below, who do you guys think is next for Jon Jones? Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira? Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.